Hmm. Hold on. Can you take a step back? There you go.
How many of you know about current human rights movements? What if I told you that there was a brave woman in the late 1800s who was already trying to fight for women's suffrage and equal marriage rights, something that people are still trying to fight for today? According to the Jewish Women's Archive in her own written works, Emma Goldman was a Jewish Russian immigrant. She escaped an oppressive family and government in 1885 in search of a better life in America. Because of the time that she lived, we can't watch her impactful speaking, so instead we must look to her written works and her scribe speeches to get to know her better. To quote her motivations in the University of California, Berkeley, she came here and found a country which guaranteed free speech and a system in where officers were armed with long clubs that invaded ordered assemblies. This discovery made Goldman very upset, and it started her long career of calling out the United States and other hypocrisies of the time. To better understand the importance of Emma Goldman, we need to understand why she began speaking about her beliefs, and we will cover the main topic that really made her career grow, and finish with her impacts that still linger today. Coming to the United States in the 19th century promised freedom and safety from persecution, among many other freedoms. However, according to the University of California, Berkeley, after the assassination of President McKinley in 1901, the acceptance of freedom of speech declined. Despite this, Goldman was able to make a career for herself as an anarchist. Even though that she was labeled as an anarchist, she had her own reasons for speaking out publicly against the United States and for and against other human rights movements. Anarchy, as defined by Google, is the state of disorder due to absence or non-recognition of authority. Goldman herself states in a collection of her essays, Anarchism and Other Essays, that the public should know that the most violent element in society is ignorance. It was Goldman's goal to inform the public and prevent the spread of ignorance running rampant in society. She was also very passionate about the hypocrisy of the United States saying that we would give people free speech. This made her very angry because people were being penalized for fulfilling that part of the Declaration of Independence. This started her long career to continue fighting for human rights. She had little fear of speaking for her own beliefs, but what was her greatest mark? According to the Jewish Women's Archive, women's suffrage was very important to her. Back home in the Russian Empire, her father took out his anger at the injustices being served upon them on his family, and especially Emma. This was one of her leading reasons to leave to America with her sister. When she spoke of women's suffrage, Emma took a bit of a different perspective than most people her time. She wanted to call out that system. She called the system a fetish, and she used that term to describe how genders controlled society. In many of her speeches, and especially when it came to women's suffrage, she made it a point to create a call to action for her followers. She used it to motivate women to break free from the oppressive system she realized they had been blindly following for years. But what happens to her arguments? Are they still being followed, or are they being followed down a different path? Her goal for women was for them to move forward and be their own person. In one of her women's suffrage essays, she said that women needed a system so that they would not fear judgment nor condemnation, and only then would we as women be free to make our own choices and be equal among a society and men. Her ideas are still being fought for, and you can see them in movements today. One of those movements could be the Me Too movement, where we as women are encouraging each other to step forward to speak out against acts of sexual violence, and to not fear condemnation for standing up for not only ourselves, but for others' safety. You could see that Emma really believed in what she fought for. She had motivation she motivated others to step up and fight for the change. But unfortunately, due to her heritage, she was easily silenced back then. But gladly for us now, she can't be silenced forever. She was easily labeled as a red flag or a communist and wanting the United States to fall because of her Russian heritage. But her true message has rippled through time to lead the world into a better place and to have more equal rights for humans. Those ripples that she created from the past to modern day has gained more and more traction. It has changed her memory from a one of fear to one of a great leader and motivator. And she decided to walk where everyone else feared to go. According to the Jewish Women's Archive, her experiences laid the groundwork for her analysis of political and economic problems. She understood that her ideas were rooted in her Jewish historical oppression. And Goldman herself could not have summarized her purpose any better. She states, "I want freedom, the right to self-expression, and everybody's right to be beautiful, radiant things." Thank you.